Good morning. A beautiful Tuesday morning in colorful Colorado. My name is Sherry Minnie. I am a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator. I live in a small rural town called Kingsburg, which is about 45 minutes northeast of Denver, Colorado. Today outside we have snow and it is very chilly. When we got up this morning, our phone said it was 18 but felt like 6 below outside. So not a very pleasant day, but the sun is out brightly. Snow is already starting to melt. So the nice thing about Colorado, snow never sticks around very long. So today I'm going to do a card that I've actually made it into a graduation card, although it could be made into a card for very many different occasions. I just happen to be needing some graduation cards, and so it's a blue and white card, and I've kind of done a different treatment with some designer series paper. I have tons of it that's retiring, and I'm trying to get some of it used up. So for this card, we are going to be using the Sailing Home stamp set, which is, I think, carrying over. I'm sorry, I should have checked that before I started, but I'm pretty sure this one's going to be in the big catalog. You know what? I actually have my new catalog right here, so I can't show you anything. This is the catalog. I hope most of my customers have already received theirs. All the little flags that I have on here, this is my wish list, things that I hope to be able to purchase. So you see I'm going to be doing some major shopping here. But in the catalog, they always have they have a stamp index, and Sailing Home is carrying forward into the new catalog. So that's the stamp set we're using. In addition, I'm using another stamp set that I will call Contraband. Stampin' Up!, in my opinion, doesn't have a lot of really neat graduation sayings, and I've had this stamp set strictly for graduation for a long, long time, and so I chose to use that, and that's actually what I used on the inside of the card. For ink, we're going to be using only one color. It's the Misty Moonlight, and it's one of the in colors. We'll be using this beautiful ribbon, it should be twine. It's a white and gold Misty Moonlight with a silver thread through it, and this is another trim that is also carrying forward into the new annual catalog. That catalog goes live on May 4th. You'll be able to order anything that you might want out of that catalog at that time. We're using some gilded gem embellishments. They're just little gold embellishments, and I probably should get one out because I don't think I did. So we'll get that out. I have our sayings and everything on our Stamparatus as usual, and I thought you might be a little bit interested in how in the world I came up with this design of the different pieces of designer paper. So what I do is I always make a prototype, and I have some brightly colored cheap cardstock that I've bought, and I play around with that. So I knew what I wanted the size of my layer underneath to be. I wanted it to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, so that I would just have a very small blue border around my card. And then that meant that my layer for my designer series paper was going to be 4 by 5 1/4, because I'm just going to go down 1/8 of an inch. So I just looked at it. I thought, okay, on one side I want them to be 1.5 inches, and then I kind of played around, and I decided this is going to be at a 2.5 inch layer. And then I just cut out different pieces of cardstock, taped them together, laid them on the card, and thought, yeah, I think I like the way that looks. So this is a card we're going to be doing in our class on Friday. I will have everything cut out for you, so you don't have to mess with cutting these out. Let's get our packet here, and I'll show you what all we're going to be doing here. Let me get the card here so that we can hopefully see a little bit of it while we're working on it. So in your packet, when you come to class on Friday, you will have a Misty Moonlight card base, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. I'll just take my bone folder and burnish this down so we have a nice burnished flat layer. You will have, actually I should have gotten 2, but I only have 1. Let's see, is this the right one I need? Yes. Okay, so then you'll have the layer that's going to go on your card front, which is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and you'll have a piece of designer series paper. This is just going to be for the flap for our envelope. You will have a piece of the pretty trim that we're going to tie around the greeting, and then you will have another piece that's cut out. This is where we're going to stamp our greeting, and this is cut out with a set of dies that are stitched nested labels that are actually retiring, and I'm kind of sad. I will be keeping them because I use them all the time. So to start out with, you're going to have a piece of designer series paper. This one happens to measure 2 1/2 by 3. Then you'll have a longer, narrow one. This one happens to measure 1 1/2 by 2. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 1/2 by 3. Then you'll have a larger one here. This one measures 2 1/4 by 2 1/2. And the one on this one, since it's so close, when you're putting it down, you got to make sure that you get it oriented in the correct way, because as you can see, this side would be way too short. So, and then you have another piece that's 1 1/2 by 2 1/4. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these and put these down on our card front. And what I did, I used my green cap glue because I knew that I was going to want to be able to move them around. And I arranged them in the way I'm going to put them on the front of the card, but when you make your card, you can arrange it whatever looks best to your eye. I happen to like the way this looked. I will also tell you that when you come to class, since I had a limited amount of this paper, your papers will not probably be the same as these, but they're still very pretty together. And then I just laid it down and got a very tiny margin, only about a 1/16 of an inch or so, okay? Then the next one would be the long, narrow piece, and I used the piece that has gold on it. This is actually a directional pattern, and I need to make sure I have the words. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see, going in the right direction. Okay. And then I just butted this up right next to the blue and tried to keep the same margin all the way around. This is the part of the card that takes the very longest, just putting it together, the front part together. Again, this is the one you want to make sure you have it oriented right. Once you get the first one down and the second one, the other ones are very easy to line up and get placed. Your goal is to not have any white showing along through here. Sometimes I manage it, sometimes I don't. And then this will be the other piece in the other corner. For those of you who know my husband, Bud, you'll never guess what he's doing. I'm cleaning out all my retired stuff, and I have designer series paper from many, several years. So I have a ton. So I've decided that I'm going to cut it up into 6 by 6 and try and sell it. So he's so restless because the weather is so terribly bad that he's in there cutting paper down for me into 6 by 6 squares. And I have a stack, probably 8-9 inches tall. So I told him, I know this is not your favorite thing. And he actually volunteered to help me. So it wasn't like I twisted his arm. I told him, you can just stop whenever you get bored if you want to sit down. But at least it gives him a little bit of something to do. And I said, I'm going to be filming a video, so you need to be quiet. He doesn't very often help me in my Stampin' Up! Adventures. Okay, so we are going to stamp our greetings. Now what I did for the piece in the front is I made a little template as soon as I find my piece, and here's the piece, and I'm just putting it right there in that Oh, let me make sure I got the little, yeah, I do. The little stitching, it does kind of have a double side. It doesn't really make that much difference. I just, you know me, I get a little paranoid about things. Okay, and then I have a Stampin' Spot in the Misty Moonlight. I'm gonna put this little rubber band thing around something so I don't lose it, because that's how I keep my lid on. We're gonna ink this up. And let me put my stamp set under here to give me a little bit of a support. I think I may need to ink this Stampin' Spot before class on Friday. I did send out Sign Up Geniuses, and I sent an email out last night. Oh, I forgot to bring my little Debbie tool in here. Huh. So if you haven't signed up and you want to and you didn't get the Sign Up Genius invite, just send me a quick email and I'll get you registered. I think I'll do this one more time. I'm sorry, my eyes are so bad from all the allergies and stuff. I can't see real well whether this is a nice stamp image or not. I don't think it's too bad. Okay, there we go. There's our image. We've got that one done. And we'll just go ahead and let's see. I may have to run back into my studio real quick and grab another sheet of, oh, maybe this will work. Let's see, what is this measure? Oh, nope, this is a little bit small, so I don't think I have another one in here, so I'm going to pause you for just a minute and I'll be right back. Okay, made it back. So I also have the inside greeting on a different stamparatus. This one we're just going to ink it up and stamp it down on the inside. I have both the congrats grad sentiment and the little hands raised in the air on the bottom, all on the same one, so we only have to stamp them once. Oops, like the magnet's in a little bit of the way, so I better move it over. Okay, that looks good. First time did it. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do is, excuse me, we're not quite done with our stamping. Let me grab my envelope. I have another sailboat image that I'm going to put on the front of my envelope. And then I think we are done with the stamping. Okay. Put my lid back on my Stampin' Spot. Put my little ponytail holder thing on here to hold the lid on. And that, we are ready to go. So first of all, I think we'll take our inside piece, put it in our card. I'll just use my green glue since I have it here. My Stampin' Seal is on the other table. I am offering 3 time slots for class. If anybody would like to come in the evening, I could use one more for my evening time, which is going to be from 6 to 8. I have 2 signed up, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and do it, but I do kind of like to have 3. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to tie the ribbon onto the end of our greeting, our salutation for the front of the card. So what I did is I took the twine, I folded it in half, and I kind of tried to tie Just a simple knot. If you know how to do a sailor's knot, you can do that. I don't know how to do that, so I just did a simple knot and tried to keep it fairly close to the middle and just pulled it tight. Then I did take my Stampin' Seal, and we're going to tie it right along this edge. So I took some adhesive. You could use glue dots. You can use whatever works best for you. And I just took this. I tried to center the knot kind of with this point right there. And I wrapped this around. And I cut way too much on this side, so I'll be trimming some of this off. And then I just took the other part and I did the same thing, wrapped it around. And as you can see, I have way too much on this side, so I'm just going to trim a little bit off just to cut down on the bulk. And okay. And for this, we're going to put dimensionals on the back of it. And I do have some already started here, I think. Or nope, I guess I get to use a new sheet. So we'll just take, and I put one on each end and one on each corner. I never scrimp on dimensionals, as you all know. So you can do it however you want. If you don't want to put that many on, you don't have to. Make sure that's not okay. I just don't like it to sag, and then I also put it right over the twine to kind of help keep that twine fastened down. I put them in the middle. Okay, takes care of that. And here's my pokey tool. This card doesn't take long actually to put together. It's pretty quick. And just makes a nice, a little bit of a different graduation card. But like I say, this I will have other greetings besides graduation on for class in case you want to make it into a birthday card or something like that. And then all I did is I kind of centered this from side to side, top to bottom. Okay. Then we will take our jewels, and I just used two of the smaller ones. Let's see, I guess it doesn't really matter. There's different sizes on here. I just put one on each little point. Okay. And then for the envelope, and I'm not going to do this because you guys, we've all done this so many times before, and I know that you know we stamp the front, and then I have this little piece that I'll glue to the back and trim around, and so you'll end up with an envelope that looks like this. Okay, so that's it for today. We have the one that I made for the sample, and here's the one we made today. Again, I'm hoping to see all of you on Friday, that you all stay well and are able to come to class. I understand the weather's supposed to be considerably better, so that'll be great. So God bless each and every one of you, and have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.